So we decided to take the 110 out for a little bit of road trip today and headed down to southern Minnesota to the Vermilion Highlands Park. It's a research facility run by the University of Minnesota, their agricultural department. There's a bunch of dirt roads and trails and farms and a bunch of beautiful scenery out here. So we're in Minnesota. This time of year can be a little sketchy. It was raining and cold this morning, but now we've got blue skies and sun. So we're going to take some photos of the project and give you a little bit of walk around of where she is before we start to talk about what we're going to do next. Now, admittedly, she's clean right now, and she's actually in much better condition than we had anticipated starting with, so that's a good thing. But why don't we give you a little bit of walk around, and then we'll tell you at the end of the video what we decided to name her. Let's start by taking a look at the front of the vehicle. There's a few things that stand out right away that we know we're going to have to sort out. The bumper's got a few little dings here and there, probably from running into things. Like we said, it's been used as a camping vehicle before, so it's not a big surprise. The hood latch, well, right now it's down, but every once in a while it'll pop up a little bit. Little easy fixes. One of the things we'll definitely have to sort out is the headlights have been upgraded with the little angel eye halo. The problem is that this one is much brighter than this one. We've had this on a lot of vehicles with the wiring and grounding going on, so we're gonna have to sort that thing out. We'll probably upgrade these to LEDs as well to match both in terms of color temperature, but also just overall safety. And it's much better in cold and wet environments, so you don't have anything sorting out on there. But the one thing that's particularly interesting about this truck for us is that when we bought her in England, it's been ages ago. It sat in a shop over there dealing with some issues with the VIN tag and a couple other things. But when we bought her, she had 4 matching off-road lights up at the top. And if you were paying attention to some of the earlier photos, you'll notice that they don't match. We have photos of her sitting at the port in Baltimore where we imported her. And then she kind of sat at the shop for a couple months before we got around to looking. So we're not quite sure when the 2 round off-road lights showed up mismatched. And that's a great mystery because they're actually wired in. And they've actually done a pretty good job of like taping them up like they've always been there. So not sure entirely what it was. We suspect that the driver of the truck, the transport truck that brought her, maybe broke them off or hit them, or maybe he really just fancied the rectangular ones and wanted to swap them out for the round ones. But anyway, we've got some better ideas for lights up there anyway. Something brighter, more off-road, more durable, maybe to match some things that we're gonna do with the front bumper here. But that's where we're at with the front. Paint is incredibly good on the vehicle right now, as well as the bulkhead was replaced about a year ago with a galvanized one. So we're in good shape there. I'm gonna take you around the other sides and show you a couple more details. This is where the truck shows a little bit of interesting character. And on the outside, it looks great, but on the inside, it's had some questionable upgrades over the years. Obviously, there are things like the door panels like this that need to be replaced, repaired, taken out. They're sound deadened. There's a few things that we need to do back in here just to clean it up. But as we go inside, there's some very interesting mossy oak camouflage going on. Not sure what that is. And it also blocks out the little side lights on the side that help you see in traffic as well as you sort of get some ventilation. So somewhere along the lines, it did quite a bit of work to do that, but we're gonna have to rip all that stuff out. One of the first things that we did in the Bishop+Rook shop last week was we added this roof bar system. It's not a full roof rack, but what we're going to use this for is a rooftop tent system that we're prototyping. We have an early mock-up of just your standard fiberglass version, which is one of the pop-up bed systems that we're going to start with to see how she handles on the road, as well as what that does is it gives us the ability to be more flexible within the back area, making it more of a seating area, a kitchen area, an office area, maybe with a little flip-down bed, but that most of the sleeping arrangements will be taking up off the ground, up in the sky. In the first episode, we asked our followers to help us with some names for the project. Every project we build, whether or not it's the beginning or the end, will end up with a name that helps identify the character of the vehicle, from where she came from, the build process, or what we're building her out to be. In this case, we got an idea from several of you guys that wanted us to call this one Stormtrooper. I think it's a great name, it's appropriate, because what we want to do is make a really nice sort of mean off-road vehicle that's still very comfortable. Bring a little bit of high technology with some of the lighting and the navigation systems, but keeping her really sort of battle worthy. So This project, Land Rover Defender 110, panel back, commercial, is now officially called Stormtrooper. So the question is next, where do we start? What do we do? And how do we want to finish out that interior piece? So feel free to comment, give us some suggestions, or even post us some links, send us some emails. But really excited to get the build started.